a green knight, a mermaid, wallabies, and a mysterious monkey man. This hike has got all of those things and even more mumbo jumbo. So join me. This is a hike in the Eastern Peak District to the potential location of Sir Gawain's Green Chapel. Now, I know that Sir Gawain isn't real, but where we're headed to could very well have been the inspiration for the Green Chapel in the famous medieval poem. Now, we're in the Roaches, which is French for rock. No idea why this area has a French name, whether that's a Norman thing or just the Victorians being all posh. Very typical April weather with sun and snow, and we do have a degree of mumbo jumbo here in this video, including a very personal example of the same. It's a bonus feature to say thank you to all subscribers, old and new, for taking the channel to that magic 1,000 subscriber count. It only took about a year and a half. So do I get a plaque now? Once you get onto the ridge, the views are fantastic, and one of the first things that you can see in the far distance is Jodrellbank, which obviously dates back to the days when Great Britain was playing a part in the space race. The first item of interest on the hike, the Doxey Pond. There's been a bit of a change since I was last here nearly 10 years ago. The Doxey Pool is now fenced off. Apparently the wildlife in it has been obliterated by dogs. For mumbo jumbo lovers, there is a mermaid that lives in this pool, and sometimes it comes out to claim your soul. There are some rocks up ahead, and they might afford me some shelter from this ferocious wind, and then I can tell you the next story related to our hike on the Roaches. Yeah, this is okay. One of the other weird and wonderful tales about the Roaches is that it was once home to a colony of wallabies. What basically happened was that a local zoo acquired some wallabies in 1936, and then bizarrely they released them into the wilds here during the Second World War. And they became quite a successful colony of up to 50 wallabies at one stage. Unfortunately, the last sighting of a wallaby here was in 2009. They think they were killed off by the harsh winters of 1963, 1979, and then 2009. They think there were only 2 left by the time you get to the end of the first decade of the 2000s. As well as the wallabies, they also released some antelopes and some yaks, but I don't believe they lasted for very long. And there's a museum somewhere in the vicinity which I think has got a stuffed wallaby. One of them fell down one of the rock chasms at some stage, and they stuffed the poor fella. So that's the only place now that you can actually see a Roach's wallaby. Bit weird to think about wallabies from Australia and Tasmania living in the Staffordshire countryside, isn't it? But they did well. They survived for half a century. These sort of ancient places really put things into perspective for me. Here we are in 2024 worrying about major issues like David Cameron. Difficult to believe, I know, but that will still be there for millennia after everybody's forgotten about David Cameron. As you get close to 1,000 subscribers, some of the special YouTube powers start to kick in, and that's what you just saw, the ability to get down a boring bit of path more quickly. I do feel like I'm trespassing today by filming in the Peak District. It's an area that is so comprehensively covered by other YouTubers. There are loads of them here. Shout out to two of my favourites, Tramp in the Hills, hi Steve and Karen, and the Solitary Rambler. There's that other guy, Paul Mesner I think his name is, but I don't think he needs any promotion from me. But guys, there's nothing to worry about, this is just a one-off. That's good to get out of the wind. I imagine my face looks pretty blasted after all of that. We're now in the forest, and the highlight really of this video lies that away. I've decided to stop for a little bit of lunch here before we get to the grand centerpiece of this video. Let's have a look to see what goodies we've got. So we've got Grey's chili and lime, they're quite tasty, a bottle of orange juice, and for Serious Rambling Hikers, a grenade protein bar. It's hardly Tweedy Outdoors, is it? Well, that was pretty disappointing. I invested in some grab bags recently, and they're absolutely fantastic. You sort of roll them like that and then clip them up, and they really do keep everything in your rucksack totally dry. But there's always a catch. I've been trying to keep it sort of clean inside, and I've just spilled orange juice in it. It's just impossible to do that, isn't it? And of course, for YouTubers, they're great for putting your electrical apparatus into the rucksack and keeping those dry. Also got some new boots, Scarpa. So far, really impressed. Don't worry, I'm not getting into product placement. Oh, and by the way, thanks for all the coffees. They've been fantastic. Really, really kind of you to buy me those coffees. I really like coffee now. Really like it. And here we are, it's Luds Church. It really is one of the wonders of Britain, in my opinion. Created by a landslip, I don't know when, millennia ago. We have this incredible gritstone sort of chasm. I'm really going to try to do my best to give you the experience of entering this amazing, magical place. So that's the ancient steps down into Luds Church. And then you can see there's a sort of a fissure up that way. But this is the way in. I don't know why I said it like that. Wow, it really is something else. So that's the way we've come in, and then up there is sort of like a side fissure, and the main Luds Church is there. Let's unpack this place then. We're going to start with factual, actual Luds Church. So that name, Luds Church, comes from the time in the 1400s when Lollards worshipped here secretly to avoid prosecution, because lollarding, if that's the right word, was outlawed at the time. The next bit is a sort of a fusion between actual history, the sort of thing we like on this channel, and mumbo jumbo, and it relates to that famous medieval poem from the 1400s, Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. And for those of you that are into your Arthurian poems, you may remember that as well as the macabre beheading game, there is a sequence in a green chapel. And it is believed that Luds Church here may be the inspiration for that green chapel. Now, whilst we might not be doing with all the Arthurian stuff on this channel, the poem is an actual thing. And interestingly, analysis has been done of the language, the dialect, the Middle English dialect in the original version of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. And it has been identified as local to this area, this part of Staffordshire. So that adds some further credence to the idea that Luds Church here might be the inspiration for the Green Chapel. And of course, the other thing about this place is it's a rare refuge for the UK temperate rainforest. And my final story relating to this place is a very personal one, and it's pure mumbo jumbo. If you are sitting comfortably, then I shall begin. Those of you who followed the channel for any length of time will know that I'm a rationalist. I don't do all the mumbo-jumbo stuff. Mrs. WC21 UK Productions Limited, on the other hand, is a little bit more, shall we say, receptive to that sort of thing. And when we were here in 2015, I was still taking pictures with a separate camera as opposed to using my phone. So it was a case of getting the SD card out when you got home and putting it onto the computer. And there was one very odd picture that appeared before mine eyes on the computer screen. And I'll try and put that up as some sort of overlay if I can find it. Now, if you look at that, you'll see there's a very weird brown sort of blob thing next to Mrs. WC21 UK Productions Limited. Which really sort of confused me. Naturally, as a rationalist, I thought it was some sort of technical glitch. I showed it to Mrs. WC21 UK Productions Limited, and she just said in such a matter-of-fact way, "Oh, it's a monkey man." I mean, what is a monkey man? And if there was such a thing as a monkey man, why would you just accept that as if it's nothing unusual? Monkey man, can you believe it? What a lot of old twaddle. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. It's a little bit lightweight probably compared to the norm. Please forgive me for that. Like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Buy me a coffee, and I'll see you again next time. Monkey man. Monkey man.